Afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing? Everybody made a fortune off the news this morning. Let's have a quick look at what's gone on this morning. Where are we? Index. So, news came out 1:30. CPI. Obviously, let me just refresh that. So it actually shows the news, would be handy. Positive news for the US dollar. So all good. So of course the US dollar came down hard. Shows you why you should never pay any attention to the news. Yeah, basically negative US, positive US news. And obviously we just had a bit of a reaction. We got Brainard speaking at 3 o'clock, and then we got Crude a little bit later. Living the dream, yeah. Yeah, it was not the biggest reaction in the world, is it, that we've ever had to CPI, but it did move. So at least something happened. Yeah, looking at the Dixie, we are bang on the 72 right now. What the hell's that? Oh, drawing from another chart. Yeah, bang on the 72. Looking at obviously the 4 hour, this area that we were looking to hold, this range, we are. Where's my drawing tools gone? Sorry, just had to restart my PC because it had an update, and it just shuts everything down. There we go. So this range that we were holding is no more. Boom. We have broken out the bottom. So we are finding support potentially down at the 72. So see what happens here. But that's the first breakout we've had. First breakout we've had. This candle is not closed yet. We had a breakout up here. Look what happened. So this candle's not closed yet, and this is a news event. So we could well just pop back up in there by the end of candle close. So, but it is a decent move down for the US dollar. So movement at last. So having a look at what's gone on today, ADRs, nothing. So still not a lot of movement today. You can see the London range is within the Asian range. Yen's, obviously we've had the US dollar weakness, therefore got the yen weakness alongside it to a certain extent. Swissy has pushed up. What's the other Swissy doing? Yeah, decent move on the Swiss. That's nice. So CAD Swiss had the reversal and retest on that. Let's have a look at the other Swissies. Yes, it looks like we're getting a bit of Swiss franc strength coming through at last. Well overdue. So that's good. Morning Will Major in the USA. Okay, so ADRs, nothing's hit today at all so far. Things are getting a little bit close. Obviously, the US dollar pairs are getting closer to ADR than a few of the others, obviously. But yeah, nothing dramatic has happened so far today. Swiss yen, obviously, the extension we've looked at. We've got a new extension now in the US dollar CAD. That's just hit its weekly ranges. So we are down at the weekly lows already now on Wednesday, so potentially this is a good springboard point for US dollar CAD. So looking really nice extended. Obviously we've just had the push down, and we were already massively extended, so come on US dollar, let's get some movement. Right, so nothing on ADRs. 4 hours, pretty much the same as this morning. I feel like a stuck record this week, really do. We're on Wednesday now, and I just feel like I'm saying the same thing as I was saying on Monday morning. It's all kind of the same, isn't it, across the board at the moment. Just looking at my portfolio at the moment, I've got NAS and S&P sitting nicely in profit at the minute. Banked 1.68 so far this morning. Pound New Zealand just got into profit. Those two positions there. Let me just open the VPS. So I've got that. My P&L up so I can have a look at the P&L on that monitor. So we can look at the charts then, can't we? So yeah, pound New Zealand is starting to move. So obviously we've got lovely wicks on the 4 hour here. Loads of upside rejection. Still haven't had a reversal alert, and we are literally still in this range. So it's not, it's not guaranteed we're getting a move yet. But that is a lovely bearish engulfing we've just got on the last hour. So we've had bearish engulfings before, and obviously we just stayed in a range. We've got a reversal alert there, which we are still testing at the moment. So break down below, ideally yesterday's low, but a break below London low yesterday will give us, I think, a good propulsion move to the downside. And then obviously we can look at targeting initially that area there, this gap and potential support. A little bit of a buying pressure at 150 ADR, but we were looking at a multi-day move down to there potentially anyway. So yeah, pound New Zealand going the right way. Got profit on that one as well. Euro New Zealand's moving finally. Darmond is in here. Darmond, I don't know how to say D is in here. Short on this Euro New Zealand. It's looking heavy, looking really heavy. It looks like a Christmas tree at the minute, though. I mean, it's just basically red and green, isn't it? But we've been stuck sideways since last Thursday. Lovely bearish move going in at the moment on this one, and looking for a decent drop down. So we've had this bearish move, went into consolidation. We didn't make a new high, didn't break yesterday's high, and we've gone bearish at the end of London. So if we can break the Asian lows, either in New York, or even, in the next 20 minutes, because we've got some decent propulsion candles going in at the moment. I think that could well be the start, at least getting down to here. So you can see where my TP is. So yeah, that one's going well. In profit now. Euro Swiss is starting to roll over. It's all starting to roll over. Gradually, we've got the reversal alert, but it's such a grind to the downside, but it is going the right way. Euro Swiss. CAD Swiss I've got on as well, short. Beautiful reversal alert on that one. May well just come up and retest, but hopefully we'll get the drop started on that one. I'm well within an ADR average on that CAD Swiss. And Aussie CAD is also going the right way as well. So I've got profit positions on all of these at the minute. Just a break even on the CAD Swiss. So yeah, all good, all going well. I will bank some more today. In fact, I might take a quick NAS off before the open just to put some profit in the bank a bit more. Where are we? Yeah, we're up in the sell zone here. So it's probably going to, highly likely it's going to continue up. But as we are in a sell zone at the moment, we're closer to ADR than we are not, and we've got this area of resistance at 125 ADR. I will probably just stick that one in the bank there, and leave the rest running. So it takes me up to 2.2%. All still in profit as well on those. So just in case, and I will bring this new buy back up to this potential support. Right, so yeah, looking at H4 RSIs, start there. Aussie dollar CAD, loads of movement on this one. Obviously, I'm already in this one. Better go on the right time frame, eh? Yeah, Aussie dollar CAD, we've been extended since here. We've continued to push down a couple more legs. Continue to be embedded on H4. Just put a beautiful bullish engulfing in off the back of the news. 3:30, we've also got CAD news as well. Well, not CAD news, we've got oil, which quite often will affect the CAD. So if we can get some negative CAD movement off the back of oil, we've got a really good shot at actually getting this W formation and break today, market structure. So Aussie dollar CAD, still extended. If you got in on this one today, you will be in, you'll be quids in already. Yeah, looking good still. But that obviously will come off of RSI extension when the next 4 hour candle closes. CAD Swiss, again, Remember I said this morning, 85 is not often seen. We do get to it, but when we do get to it, the market is just shot. And we've had the reaction this morning off of that. So it's just an initial reaction. Yeah, we are still extended. So, we do get embedded for multiple periods. So, but you look at the amount of buying pressure we got up here. I don't see us really staying up in this area much before a profit take move starts. We've got all this selling pressure here pushing down. We've completely filled that gap, pushed into the next area. We haven't done a profit take move. We are shot to pieces. This thing's coming down. How far, I don't know, because there's not really any support and resistance on the way up. It's been like just a grind. So really, from a support perspective, you're looking at here, which is from where we are at the moment, 3 ADR drop. So yeah, long way down on this one before we get any meaningful support. But you could class that as support, not really anything else. So, I mean, 200 ADR move to the downside is what I would expect from where we are at the minute. But we'll see what happens with this one today. If we get negative CAD news, negative oil, or negative CAD news, negative effect on the CAD, we should see a good drop. CAD yen, still extended, still pushing. It's not dramatically extended, but where we were this morning, we've pulled back a little bit. Not a lot. We've literally dipped our toe out the water in the London session. So we'll see what happens with New York on this one, but it is extended. CAD I would be short on at the moment, just because of the strength of the move. You see the market structure on this, it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, if you want a lesson in market structure, doesn't get much cleaner and textbook than what we've got going on there at the moment. So low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low market structure. So yeah, really, really good looking at the moment, but getting tired, very tired now. It's had a decent strong push, but not really extended, so not my favourite to look at the moment, that one. The best extension was up there, and obviously you would still be in it, but you'd be out of this by now, obviously. So CAD yen, Euro CAD. This area down here, where we've moved from, is a beautiful double bottom bounce, bullish engulfing and hammer straight off of this support, which is virtually to the pip. 142, 300-ish area. So really, really tired. We looked at this one this morning, obviously. I don't long the euro. I only short the euro at the minute until we get some fundamental shift to tell us otherwise. So there is potential for this to move today on CAD weakness. But I'd rather wait for this to get up, back up to the 24, up to this big propulsion gap here. And come out of there. Euro CAD, yeah. So pound CAD, same thing. Pound, I'm happier to long than I am the euro. Beautiful bounce where we are at the moment from a support resistance perspective. Massive resistance held multiple times. When we finally broke it with a huge propulsion candle, became supportive. And we're on a third bounce. So third knock on the door. Happens to also be at the 72 moving average. So you've got confluence there with confluence of an RSI extension as well. Yeah. So looks like a beautiful bottom. But for you head and shoulders-y type people out there, I very rarely find they work head and shoulders. But if you do like a head and shoulders, we break that. We've broken the neckline of the head and shoulders. If we break that left shoulder, right shoulder type scenario, we'll probably find we get a collapse on it. So critical point at the moment, but bullish. Looks really good. So M15, we've had the reversal alert. We've just retested and we're pushing out. So for me, that's a really nice looking long entry. I'm already exposed pretty much on everything I can get onto. So I can't take that one, but yeah, looks really, really nice, pound CAD. for long. Pound Swiss. I'm waiting for the Swiss franc to power up. It is starting to show signs of strength. So where we are at the moment potentially is a really nice turning point. Very nicely extended. We got embedded above the 80 level. This one was obviously up here. Pound Swiss was up here. We looked at this one yesterday. I think it was up there this morning as well. Last 4 hour candle was 75 still. So yeah, really nice looking turnaround there. So that one's just broken. Reversal alert, retest. We just about put in a new low, but didn't quite manage. So we've got all this buying pressure here. We're trying to crack through. But yeah, pound Swiss looks good for short as well. But we're reliant on some Swiss franc strength. So we're just waiting for that to happen. Pound New Zealand. Obviously already in this one as a short. It's just starting to play out beautifully. Looking for it to come down to the 199. In fact, probably better to round that to round number. Oh no, that's too far. No, definitely down there then. So 199.300. So yeah, this gap, we've got to get through there. But this gap, I think, is obviously where we will be finding some support. If we are going to find support by the time we get down there, which hopefully will be an elevator shaft this afternoon. You never know. If not, sort of midweek, we'll be pulling up on the 24. So I would expect some kind of consolidation and bounce from there at some point. Pound US dollar. Very nicely extended. Just tapping up into this little gap here formed on the first pullback of the move. This is the main area up here. If we can push up into that area, that would be really nice. But obviously the fact that we just had the US dollar drop is why we're pushing at the moment on this one. But I think that US dollar move is probably going to unravel this afternoon. It's starting to unravel now, look. Off of the 72. So pound US dollar, very nicely extended. US dollar strength will push this one straight back down again. So it's been very orderly. We've looked at this one a few times. It's been very orderly on the way up. It is extended, and I'd much rather see US dollar strength, or I'm expecting to see US dollar strength. So therefore, you would expect the pound US dollar to be dropping. We're just popping up into this big buy area, sell area up here. So if we can get up into ADRs today, that is, if we can get further weakness on the US dollar and get up to there, that would be a lovely area for shorting. But as it stands at the moment, it is already extended, so good opportunity to get in short on lower time frames. Probably about, you're going to struggle with a reversal alert on this one today because of the US dollar move we've just had. So it's not the best setup in the world at the moment, but short at some point soon. Very extended. New Zealand dollar CAD. If you got into this one this morning, or you were in it from when we looked at it on Monday, was Monday the 10th? Yeah. You would have been in here. If you didn't get out on that move, you are now above break even. So I'd let this one run because this one looks like it's ready to go now. We've got this area here to look at. So where we've got this gap put in is where we're tapping into now. So this big propulsion move to the downside here, we've got to crack through that. We're just about to get the reversal alert on the 4 hour. We've got this area of resistance, potential resistance to worry about. But to me, this is much more indicative of a liquidity run and move back up to the 24 area, probably up to here. So it looks like a really good trade. You've missed it really now. If you didn't get into it on Monday, when we started looking at it being really nicely extended, you needed to get into it in London at some point, and obviously it's going from here. So really nice New Zealand dollar CAD. That was really, really nicely extended. Obviously, like I said this morning, when we get to these sorts of levels, the 80s, the 85s, it tends to be dramatic, the movement. And obviously nothing has happened to New Zealand dollar or CAD this morning. From a news perspective, this is purely a reaction off the back of the CPI. They were waiting for CPI to be dumped before putting the money in the market, and that's what you see. US dollar CAD. Again, super extension on this. I don't quite know where this is going to stop because it's still coming down. So from a support resistance point of view, this area here is obviously the zone we need to be looking at. Yeah, so this high here, that high there. Yeah, this is a reactive area here that we're entering now. So if we can get an ADR push on US dollar CAD today, which means obviously down for the US dollar and up for the CAD, that would be a beautiful buy point. We will be super extended then, and you'll get that reaction, that knee-jerk reaction. We haven't really had a profit take since we haven't had a profit take on this candle's not big enough. So since we started this leg on Monday, we haven't breathed all week. So this is due a breather, definitely. So look at lower time frames on this one for entries. It might need to go down to M5. Even M5 is a bit far away, to be honest. It's only 20 pips there. It's not too far, is it? Yeah, M5 or M15, you're probably going to get an entry probably around about a bullish engulfing on the hourly and targeting around about an ADR push to the upside on that one. So that looks really nice. Potential setup. You could go down to the lower time frame if you want to on that, but it's exhausted. So get ready for the profit take move. Yeah, for those that haven't been in here before, everybody that sells has to get out their positions to take a profit. Same as you, same as me. Everybody has to do it. If you're selling, when you take profit, you automatically buy. When you buy, market moves up. Not you and you buy. When the market buys, it moves up, and everybody then jumps in and causes that, which is what we call a profit take move, which is a pullback. They tend to happen after strong selling or buying in one direction, which is exactly what we've got here. So this area is the likely area that will be defended by the sellers if the sellers are going to continue to win out. So yeah, buy opportunity on US dollar CAD. News-wise this afternoon, obviously, we've got more catalysts coming with crude. That doesn't affect the US dollar really. I don't know why they put that on US dollar. Crude doesn't really affect US dollar. It more affects the CAD than the US. So, but yeah, there is crude coming up this afternoon, and then we've got the bonds later, but ignore that. So, catalysts. The next catalyst is 1:30 tomorrow afternoon, which is PPI. So we'll see what New York makes of this afternoon session. We've got 5 minutes till the open. Hourlies, not a lot. US dollar CAD, obviously, based on the continuation push to the downside. We're embedded and have been embedded since New York yesterday. We got embedded previous New York and all of yesterday. We managed to get that push back out today, so that's what I would expect to happen today, a pullback on US dollar CAD. So look for that for longs this afternoon, nicely extended. If you're trading H1, look at M5 for entries. If you find the reversal alerts too far away, then obviously you can look at dropping down even lower. You've had the reverse alert, but M1's just, you really are trading the chop with M1. So if it's not the right, if it's too far away, don't take it. Pound US dollar, nicely extended to the upside. Again, off the back of this news is where we've got extended. Sorry, that's M5. Yeah, off the back of this news is where we got extended. So it is a fundamental push potentially happening. So I would leave this one and wait for some bearish price action. M5, you're not going to get a reversal alert. What we need is for a new high to be made, which is just happening now. Yep. So we've got a new high. So the reversal alert indicator will now draw here. So If you get a break there, that's where you start looking for a short position on it. But look at the size of these propulsion gaps. Yeah, there's a lot of buyers here. So just be a little bit careful. I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing the indices dropping at some point this afternoon as well. And CAD Yen, 3 minutes to open. Yeah, CAD Yen extended. We looked at this one, didn't we, before? It's really, this is market structure all over. This is, isn't it? So somewhere in here, pullback. I'd much rather be longing it, to be honest, at the moment. So not a great opportunity to set up. Okay, let's have a look at the indices. Get the NAS open. Right, so anybody got any questions on those bits? If you have, go and watch the bootcamp. Everything's answered in there. No, seriously, if you've got any questions, you can ask in here, obviously. Or any other pairs anybody wants to look at. Just let me know if there's any positions you're in that you want to have a look at. So, indices, 2 minutes to the open. Indices on the daily. So obviously S&P, we've been buying the dips and selling as we push. We are in an update again so far today. Obviously, we've just played the 72 bounce, so scaling in as we push up. We are getting into this area on the daily where we started this drop. So this drop here was kind of the catalyst from last week that started this move back down to the 72. Typically, obviously, a 72 bounce means the start of a new push. So whenever we get down to here, we then usually go into a multi-week push. In some cases, a multi-month push, as here. But the 72 bounce usually is what the catalyst is to continue the grind to the upside. Yeah. So when we get deeper, the deeper we get, the stronger and longer that push tends to be. Obviously, bear in mind this is Christmas, so you can discount this chop here. But yeah, I would expect now literally that kind of price action over the next few weeks. So we're looking for longs. Play obviously is to wait for pullbacks and look for logical areas that price is going to pull back to and try and catch it. So longs, these sorts of areas, and then play the longs out of there. But very, very difficult to tell if we're going to get a pullback or if we're going to get a push today, because we still haven't made new highs. So we've got a long way to go until we get new highs, 200 ADR. So we've got another 840 pips, 1.5 ADR before we even get to challenge new highs. And quite often we'll get a little bit of a stop at the highs and then a breakthrough. So S&P looking good. We've got an Aussie or US, we've got an ADR hit. Obviously that's based on the US dollar weakness. So I would expect that to come back down. So that's not a bad ADR to take today, an M5. Monitor that one. And for NASDAQ, we had a much, much, much deeper pullback than expected. So this is obviously the Christmas period, the Santa rally. This is December and the Santa rally. We put the nice double bottom in for the Santa rally, and then this week we completely swept all the liquidity down here and tapped into this kind of area here. So we didn't quite make the 200. We do make the 200 on the NAS historically. It's not often, but we do get there. you know, it's like you see, it's not often. Last time we got there really was October 2019. Ignore COVID. It's obviously an anomaly, but we very rarely get down to the 200. So we have got closer, as you can see, over the last year. Been a bit more volatility in the tech stocks, but that's as close as damn it for me. I'm happy with that as a bounce. So I think we're just going to continue to the upside. So I've got a couple of positions on it, and I'm just targeting somewhere up around the highs, and then we'll get in on any pullbacks. So plays for today, if you can get them, take pullbacks. If you want to, hit the buy button right now. Worst case scenario, you can get in on the pullback. So these are all looking bullish at the moment, but we'll see what happens. So market is open. This is the first M5 candle going in. Obviously, we are off to the upside to start the day, so we'll monitor that one. Will, I need to learn more on how you trade. It's all covered in the Bootcamp. If you haven't watched the Bootcamp, go and watch the Bootcamp. Position Trading Bootcamp shows you all the indicators I use, how I use the indicators, how I trade, how I scale in, how I scale out, how I do drawdown control, everything I do. It's all covered in there. And then obviously you can come in here and ask questions. But the Bootcamp's on the channel. So if you just go to the Market Structure Trader channel, I'll stick a link in the chat. And if you go to playlists, Position Trading Bootcamp is there. So it's 5-day bootcamp. 5 days. It's 5 parts. I wouldn't spend more than a day on each one because I do waffle. But yeah, just go and have a watch. Okay, so S&P, we've just taken out the, and the NAS, we've just taken out the London highs. So we're starting off with a decent push. I've just got 2 small ones on the S&P at the minute. Don't know what to do with these. I might just leave all this running at the moment. Pound New Zealand is still coming down very nicely. The EA is managing these for me, so it's automatically going to get me out on these anyway when I hit target, but everything seems to be going the right way at the minute. Okay, pulling off the highs. So areas of interest on these today. Looks like we are getting a decent pull down. Obviously, we've had a big, strong push. We put this nice reversal in yesterday. This is the initial buying pressure that we got. That's what caused the reversal alert on NAS, a little bit later on the S&P. So today, if we are going to have a down day or a rest day and go into a rotational day, likelihood is this is where we're going to be targeting. Obviously, this is ADR on the NAS. On the S&P, we're going to need a 125 plus push to get down to that level. So I'll scale in on the way down if we are going to get down to there. But I suspect more than likely we'll just come and challenge the lows of the day and try and push off the lows of the day. If we get a pullback, obviously, that's scenario 1. Scenario 2 is we just chop around here for a little bit and then fly. But let's see what happens. What's everybody's thoughts today on the S&P, and the indices and NAS? We've got any ideas? There's a few people I know trading the Dow as well. So Dow's obviously the same thing. With the Dow, you had the reversal alert there, off the same W formation. Obviously, it's all the same stuff. Just more propulsion candles in there. There's your areas. So anywhere around 100 ADR pullback today is a beautiful buying area. But wait for some confirmed bullish price action if it gets down there. At the minute, we are just taking out the London highs. So I might just adjust these. Pound New Zealand. I just want to see what I'm targeting on these. Where am I? Oh, brain. Come on. 1 ADR or 30. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I can't remember if I was targeting half an ADR or an ADR. Half an ADR. Let's go 1 ADR. I just want to let these run. These are so extended. Half an ADR just seems like I might be ripping myself off because I think these are going to come down harder than that, especially off the back of that move. I'll monitor them. I might take some manuals on them. Euro's coming down very nicely as well. Just adjusting for those of you who don't know, this is the market reversal alert CA. This is basically automates most of my position trading. And this is the target I'm aiming for, which is basically 1% of account balance. This is a 3K account that I'm trading in this room. Or an ADR figure in pips. So in this case, 47 pips for the entire basket. And as in the S&P, I can leave. So I'm just going to adjust those because these are all moving really nicely. Just don't want to take them off at half an ADR because I've got a feeling they're going to run. Never know. Customer service is Long Naz. I love your name, customer service. Somebody asked me actually in the Telegram group today, Victoria. I don't know if you're in here. Is there customer service email for questions? Yeah, you're in customer service. It's Telegram. There is only me. I don't have a department, though I can put on a headset if you like and a microphone. Might be quite amusing. Customer service. Not an awful lot happening at the moment. We're stuck. So big M5 initial move. So whenever I'm looking at a kind of consolidation at the open, M15 is kind of the time frame I like to look at to give an indication as to which way we're going to go for the open, from the open basically. So you can kind of use the M15. Some people use the 30-minute candle. But looking at that for an opening range breakout. So if you draw a line at the high and the low of the first 15-minute candle, we've got another 4 minutes left on this one yet. But what you will quite often find in a rotational day where we're not just going to come out the gates and just go, is we tend to chop a little bit and then you'll get a break and a retest of the 15-minute opening range. But as I say, some people use the 30-minute opening range, but I find that a little bit too slow these days. So that gives you a good idea really where you're initially going to go. And then obviously towards lunch, they'll quite often put in a reversal or it'll be a continuation. It depends how far it gets. But at the moment, we are pulling back. So, oh. That's really annoying. I want to grab that line. There we go. So keep an eye on that level. So 2 minutes still till candle close. Using the market reversal alert on NAS 100 Renko seems to be working nicely for scalps so far, Luke. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I've been working on the Renko strategy this morning with the reversal alert indicator. Still fine-tuning. The trouble with Renko is when you flick through different brick sizes, it's not confusing. It's like when you start as a trader and you're trying to figure out what time frame is best for you to trade. Until you've tried everything, you can't really decide. And it's the same with Renko. There's so many different brick values you can have. I was watching a video this morning on somebody going through just some Renko strategy on YouTube using 2 pip bricks. Which is obviously super scalping, and it's you might as well use candlesticks, but I can't really get an exact. I'm still hovering on half an ADR and quarter of an ADR brick size, but for the NAS, obviously you could go with a much smaller brick size than that, maybe 10% of ADR, with the reversal alert indicator, which would be kind of equivalent to trading price action. Obviously, what Renko is, just price movement, but off of something like a few minutes or 5 minute time frame. So I'm still playing around at the minute. I haven't really looked at it on the indices, to be honest, because I've been concentrating on FX. So S&P's pulled up. So there's our that line is right on an order. Look. Trying to grab that line, can't grab that line. Okay, so there's our M15 low. So there's our opening range highs and lows in. This is what I mean by kind of a rotational open that we get is, the first 15 minutes, it either does one or two things. It either goes out the gates like this, it just like opens and goes boom, 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 or you get this kind of whippy-saw reaction, which we've had quite a bit in New York over the last few days. And there's no real directional bias, and it's basically just the market accumulating orders up and down, up and down, up and down. When it's got enough, and then it makes its move. And after it's made its move, you tend to get the pullback and retest and push. Structure starts. So these levels on 15-minute quite often are really good break and retest levels. But, and you also get obviously hideous sideways days which chop everybody to bits. I don't know, Victoria, are you in here? from the Telegram group? Let me know if you are. Just to explain MQL5 licensing. Might be easier to do it in here. Okay, so now as we've just dipped our toe outside to the downside, so we are starting to move potentially for a potential down day at the start of the session. We've got all this chop here to get through, obviously to try and get the reaction from as well. So obviously when you get a nice area of balance like this where the market's accumulating and you see a big strong push to the upside, it's indicative of there being buyers in here, because obviously the reaction from this accumulation was to purchase. So when price gets back down into these areas, you quite often find the same thing happening again. That area gets defended. Sort of like that. But we'll see if there's enough selling pressure to get through today. The S&P is not having any of it. It's that's off to the upside. Pound New Zealand's coming down very nicely. Any of you that are on that? Euro New Zealand's coming down very nicely. Very nicely. Anybody that needed to get in aggressive positions on Euro New Zealand, did you manage it? Nice collapse. Just broken out of the London lows, so good potential downside on that one today. So if you've not watched the customer service, it's your work email, right? Okay. What are you doing watching videos at work? So if any of you haven't watched the bootcamp yet, you know that I pay only attention to percentage gain when I'm looking at profit. I'm not interested in pips. Pips are irrelevant, don't mean anything because they're all completely different across every instrument you look at. So always looking at percentage gain. So that's what I look at when I'm monitoring my dashboard here on one of my other monitors constantly, and I'm looking at what I can bank. So my target per day for FX is around about 0.5%, which is 10% a month. Anything more than 0.5% a day is fantastic. 10% a month growth on an account is great, but the reason you use percentage gain over pips or any other thing, you don't use monetary values, always gain, is that this is consistent across every account you will ever trade in your life. So if you start off with a $100 account, yeah, and you increase it by 10%, you only made $10, yeah, but you've made a 10% growth. So if you can concentrate on growing your account in percentage terms, when you suddenly start trading a 100k account, you do exactly the same thing as you've been doing on your $100 account. Yeah, you concentrate on percentage growth. Before you know it, you've made 10k by growing your account 10%. But if you concentrate on this and this here, yeah, you can forget this. Forget money. Money's irrelevant. Pips are irrelevant. What's relevant is making a percentage return on your account. So that's how you can work out what you need as a trader is as well as a starting balance. So if you said as a trader, I need to be making 5k a month to pay the mortgage, the bills and everything. Yeah. You know what size account. If you can do a 10% growth every month for 3 months consistently, you pretty much become a consistent trader if you can do that 3 months on the trot. 6 months is ideal, but 3 months minimum. If you need to make 5k, obviously you need to figure out what you've got to have as an account. Yeah, so you need a 50k starting balance to make that, if you can consistently make 10% a month, obviously. Something just vanished from there. Pound New Zealand just banked. So that's obviously gone over there. So I'm out of Pound New Zealand. So entry 1 was taken on Friday last week. Second entry today, and I'm out. 1 ADR in the bank. So just take the EA off. So I get an alert basically from the EA. So Pound New Zealand, gone. Shut that down. On to the next. S&P, so we literally tapped out, NAS rather, we literally tapped out the 15 minute, bang into this area, as I said, support, big accumulation phase for a long, buyers have stepped back in, we're off to the upside. So if we can break these highs today, we should be looking for that sort of movement. If, obviously, we've got to break out of that area first. Diamond, you're in and watching. Yeah, Euro New Zealand's looking good. Finally. How long have we been waiting for that to come down? Seems like forever. I think 3 weeks for you, isn't it? Looking for a breakdown from yesterday's low, yeah. So Euro New Zealand, if we can get that break. We've got the break of yesterday's low already. There you go. We've already had that. So that's good. This is your target here. Previous day's low. That's where we need to get broken. If we can, same as this is exactly the same. If you look at it, as what we're waiting for, or we have been waiting for on the US dollar index, breakout. We're waiting for a breakdown of this support. We've got it. Euro New Zealand. We haven't quite got it yet. But yeah, it's only a weak consolidation. But when we get down there, this is where we want to be eyeballing this level here. Yeah, this gap on the hourly. So you can see where my TP is. That's where we are looking for. A break of that. If we can get a break of that, we're back down into this chop. Again, this is that control candle. This is that range. That down to here, and then assume we're going to continue range bound until it says otherwise. So still no movement out of opening ranges for either indice. New Zealand dollar CAD ADR. News is in. Oh, it's not. Yeah, is it? It's 3:30 news. Yeah. Right, so in 4 minutes, Brainard is speaking, FOMC. So there may be something. Actually, this might be why we're in a holding pattern. We may be waiting for the crude figures before we move. All the CADs are on the move. A little bit. Oh, actually, no, not as bad as I thought. New Zealand's on the move by the looks of things. Yes, New Zealand's on the move. So they're manipulating the New Zealand dollar at the minute. In the dashboard, I show the trades as percentage ADR rather than profit. So the numbers don't wig me out. I'm acting based on drawdown anyway. Yeah. Yes, another way to look at it, percentage ADR. Again, with looking at Renko, you know, if you use a percentage ADR, Renko bars, you're always going to be either losing or making a percentage ADR gain, aren't you? And that's how the big boys work. The big boys don't go, I'm going to target 60 pips on this. They're going to say, get in long, take it up to a level and make 1.5%. They always work in percent. Yeah, the market, nobody that makes money in the market will be concentrating on pips. If somebody's trying to sell you something, a service, an indicator, course or anything that says they'll make you X number of pips a month or week, a day, run a mile. Nobody works in pips that makes money in this industry. We work in percentage gains because a pip is irrelevant. Look at a pip on the S&P, 564. Look at a pip on Euro US dollar, 71. How can you compare those two? Market movement you can measure in average daily range and you can measure it in percentages, but you can't measure it in pips. ADR is also a good measurement, obviously. On the Trade Manager dashboard, notification is in percentage or dollar gains. Dollar gains. So on the dash, the alerts in the dash are monetary values. So I set them. I don't use them anymore. I used to. I used them a lot. The reason I put alerts in here was for prop firm challenges. So the drawdown alert here is for when if you say, let's say for example you're doing an FTMO challenge or something and your maximum loss is $1,000, you would set that to $1,000 and it will alert you when you get to 80% of it. That's why that's there. Daily profit target alert. A lot of people work on banking X and then finishing for the day. So if they're scalp traders, intraday traders, they say, I want to make X a day. So for me, for example, if I said I want to make 0.5% a day, I would set that to 30. When I hit 30, it will go ping, tells me to stop trading and bank everything. And you can have individual profit trades. So if I said I want to make 0.5% per position, again, that'd be 15, wouldn't it? 0.5%. This is a 3K account. Well, it was a 3K account when I started. It's a 3.7 now. So that's how I use the alerts. But they're in monetary values, not in percentages. But good point. I should really change that, shouldn't I? There's lots of things I want to do with this dash, but I just don't have time to do anything. Okay, broken out on the S&P. Just made new highs on M15. So new highs gone in on the S&P. Brainard is starting to talk now. So keep an eye on, well, you'll be able to see if he says anything positive or negative on the US dollar because the indices will react to it as well. Oh, Darmon, you've been in Euro New Zealand months. Can happen. Yeah, yes, of course. Yeah, because I got myself out of Euro New Zealand before Christmas, didn't I? I did aggressive drawdown control and got out of it. And I remember, we were in it. Yeah, God. When did we get in that? It's back here, wasn't it? End of November. That's when we started getting in, wasn't it? Looking at this range. And that's where we got the break. And I exited somewhere around here on this move here. I exited, didn't I? I think. Yeah. Tough one, that one. US dollar Swiss ADR. There's a few ADR hits coming in now. US dollar Swiss, New Zealand dollar Swiss, New Zealand CAD, Aussie US. We just rejected the highs. Trying to get my line straight. So one thing I don't like about MT4, you should be able to hold shift in my opinion, and that just do a straight line, which is what happens on most platforms. You hold shift and it would automatically snap to horizontal, but good old MT4 doesn't. Aussie dollar CAD has just hit as well. So all these just poked our head out again and pop back in. Aussie dollar CAD, all these ones that are hitting ADRs from the Canadian dollars. These are the Aussies and the New Zealand's moving. Yeah, so look at all the Aussies and the New Zealand's. They're all moving in tandem, as they always do, most of the time. But the Canadian dollar seems awfully weak as well. So look at your charts from a CAD perspective. Good chance that we're basically running stops at the moment, potentially for a move back up on the CAD. Possibly anticipating positive move in oil, but we'll see. I want to be alerted when in 0.5% per trade. So do you put the dollar amount in? Yes. Yeah. So I've just answered that question, haven't I? Yeah. So on the dash, if you want to be alerted when you are 0.5% in profit, individual trade profit target, you would put that to, in my case, with a 3K account, 15. And obviously increment that every whatever you fancy. So, I mean, I'm currently at 3.7 times 0.5% is 18. So 18 and a half. Can I do halves? Yeah. So that will alert me when I get to 18 and a half, which is 0.5% on an individual trade. But again, you will only have to update that once every, I don't know, depends how quick your account goes. Ideally, you want to update it every day, don't you? So your account grows exponentially every day, but that doesn't happen in the real world. I was too timid back then, still am. Yeah, no, aggressive drawdown control is a difficult thing to master. The hardest part, probably. It's quite a lot of it in the course. It's worth watching that bit of the course of the bootcamp over and over again, the aggressive drawdown control positions, because it is quite important with the position trading when you get into squeezes, but it's a very discretionary thing. So it's just something you have to practice, but you can only really practice it live, which is the problem. You can hold shift in MT4 to force a horizontal trend line, but only after it's drawn and you're editing it, not when first creating. Really? I might be learning something on MT4 here. Right, so that is not straight. If I hold shift now, yeah, now you've seen, I can't move it up and down now. All shift does. Or is that horizontal now, is it? Has that made that horizontal? Genius. Didn't know that. So that's not right, is it? Let's hold shift. Well, there you go. Learn something new every day. Why on earth can't you do it when you create it? How ridiculous is that? That's why I never knew that, because I would assume that when you're drawing a line and you hold it, it wants to go straight. But yeah, that's good. Good to know. Never stop learning in this industry, you know. Right, so we pulled back in the 15-minute range. We're not going anywhere at the moment. I suspect we're waiting for Brainard to finish and crude. So unlikely we're going to get any price action movement outside until 3:30. We'll see. We might do, but it doesn't look like they want to go anywhere yet. I've read every single book on Renko and tried everything from ATR to pip sizing. It looks nice, but it's not practical. Yeah. The thing with Renko is, for me, is the simplicity of not having to do analysis, which is why I was looking into it as an option. But it may not be any good, you know. I'm just going to have to try and trade it, really, and just see if I can figure out a decent way to use it. But for the thing that appeals to me, because obviously I know how ADR works and I use ADR every single day in my trading, the appeal of having a chart plotted in ADR is what is the appeal for me. So I can literally see price movement purely in ADR form as a quarter or a half of an ADR movement. Because we know price moves in ADR and it pulls back in ADR. You know, there's the old something, I think it's Steve Malro teaches the 3 ADR push, where you have an accumulation push, push, push. Once you've moved 3 ADR, then you tend to come back the other way. It's the buyers and the sellers sort of thing. But for me, I found that wasn't the case, and it was too much of a messy thing. But if you look at a Renko chart that's plotted in half ADR bricks, after a 6 brick move in one direction, you will quite often get a pullback. So that's the idea. But then a continuation push. You know, in my old dashboard, I used to have ADR, 3 ADR, which represented the sort of the peak of where we would expect price to go. But I found quite often I was 4 ADR, 5 ADR, 6 ADR, 7 ADR. Didn't work. So I stopped using it. But each to their own. You know, this is what I say. It's like art or a TV program. Yeah. You give the same piece of art to 10 people and the same TV program to 10 people and get them to give you a review as to whether it's good or bad. You'll get completely different results. You'll look at it and think something different. So a lot of people look at what I do and go, that guy's nuts. They try it for 3 months, can't make it work. I've been doing this for 2 years, 2.5 years. Works absolutely fine. This is why you've got to try stuff in trading. You have to try everything. If you can't make Renko work, it doesn't mean that someone else can't. But it's not the most popular charting platform, but I'm finding for futures it is a very, very popular charting platform, charting system, Renko. Especially for indice trading. So for NAS, I think it's got a lot of potential. For indices, I think it's got a lot of potential because we know it's going up. So it just smooths out. It smooths these out. But then again, I don't need it smoothed because I've got these. You can kind of see it, can't you? It's not rocket science, is it? When it gets below the 24, you buy it. But anyway, each to their own. You know, it's just you've got to try stuff. This industry is all about trying stuff. You try everything. You buy everything. You buy loads of courses. You buy loads of indicators. You try stuff. What works, you keep. What doesn't, you chuck. And eventually, you'll get to a point where you've kept enough that you can cobble together a strategy that works. Yeah. I had a guy send a message to me through the MQL5 marketplace who bought my RSI dashboard, saying to me the dashboard's upside down. When it gets down there, you sell. And I sort of, no, that's not what you do when you get down there. You buy it. And he was adamant. He sold it. And he'd been trading for years, selling down there. And he couldn't believe that the dashboard worked in the opposite way. He's been selling the RSI drops, but you know he could sell here and make money, waiting for me to buy here. So everyone can make money in a different way on the same thing. You give 2 people the same chart, they can both press the button in the opposite direction at exactly the same time, and both of them can make money. Because as long as this market does this, yeah, I'm buying down here and getting out up here, making money. You're selling up there and getting out down here and making money. So when someone says to you the S&P is going up, first question you've got to ask them is, what time frame are you looking at and how long are you holding that position for? Because yes, the S&P is going up right now, but is it going to come down? Of course it is at some point. So it's all subjective. Trading is subjective. You've got to have context with everything. And Renko, I just like the idea of Renko because it puts the market into very, very simple context for you, up and down in price movement. Yeah, which is the way that the institutions look at it. They're not interested in time. They don't trade time charts. You know, you give an institutional trader a 5-minute chart and he'll not have a clue what you're talking about. Won't know what to do with it. Time's irrelevant. We use it because that's what we get given and what we're taught to use. I tend to write my own stuff. Yeah, like for indicators, if you can code your own indicators, or you get a coder to write your indicators for you, yeah, do it. This is how I started. I'm a programmer by trade. Was a programmer by trade. So obviously, when I started trading in 2009, 8, 9, something like that, I was looking for indicators and sucking up indicators left, right, and centre, as most traders do. It's just breaking out the highs, and it looks like we're holding on the S&P. The NAS is also attempting. I would wait for the NAS to break before we start trying to long the S&P if you want to. But yeah, I hunted high and low for lots of indicators. When I couldn't find an indicator that did exactly what I wanted to do, I built it. And that's the way a lot of people tend to go. And I do it to this day. There's a lot of indicators out there that do what I want to an 80%, but they don't quite do what I want in exactly the way I want them to, so I make one. And you'll be amazed how cheaply you can get stuff coded. So if you want to make your own indicators, or you don't like an indicator or the way it works, build your own. Very easy, very quick. Not for you if you don't know how to code, obviously, but if you tell a programmer how to do it, they'll have it turned around in 2 or 3 days. Okay, S&P's pushing now, looking like a decent movement. I've got a line on my chart. Let's have a look at why that's there. Don't know. Kind of is that high, isn't it? But that is where I would be looking for resistance. So this big sell area here we're in at the moment is potentially where we are going to hit some pressure. Look at the big strong move we get in here, but obviously this is what it does. So at the moment, looking like it's in a good spot for continuation and pullbacks. So basically buying dips at the minute. So if you want to, and you've got the reverse alerts indicator, you can use this as the support rectangle. Obviously, if this breaks down below here, we get a reversal alert, which is a market structure shift. So this rectangle will often work after you've had a reversal alert as support. So price pulls back into it, pushes out of it, pulls back into it, pushes out of it. So buy the dips as we're going. I'm obviously already long, so running out of positions. Somebody in Telegram has just asked, is there a minimum capital you can recommend? They trade in ZAR and normally do 0.10 per point. It's not the way to look at it. You risk a percentage of your capital rather than 0.10 per point, whatever that means. But couldn't tell you in ZAR. Keep it small. $125 New Zealand US. Looks like the US dollar is still very, very weak. New Zealand dollar's pushed up to 125. Dixie's still coming down. Crazy, isn't it? You know, these news traders, that try to trade the news. You know, you'd do nothing but long, would you, in the US dollar? It's positive news for the US dollar. Collapse. So Dixie's still coming down. New Zealand US is now at 125. Doesn't look like it's stopping. Beautiful support buy there. If we get up to 150 today on that one, the market is going to want to pull back on this, obviously. So you look at the move here, for example, from here. 3 solid big moves up, little pullback up to the 24, and then a drop before continuing higher. So you will be getting a pullback on this. It's a very, very big, strong move. So not a bad looking short. Pound New Zealand. Still going. So that's where I got out. Still going. Again, good lesson there in taking profits. Yeah, forget this. If you look at this all the time, it'll drive you mad. Yeah, you set what you want to get out in the market and you take it. The market will give you what you want on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It will give you what it can. Okay, the market will move in a certain amount of pips, ADR, up and down on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. You target where you think is a good spot for you to make money, and you take your money. If it continues going down by 3 ADR today, it's not going to bother me, because it does. That's just what happens. You're never, ever going to pick exactly the top and get out at exactly the bottom. And if you try, you'll just get chopped to pieces all the time. So it's always good to look at your trades on a weekly basis and see if they hit your targets. If they hit your targets and you find they are exceeding your targets every single time you take a trade, then you might want to start looking at, hang on a minute, I'm doing myself out of some money here. But the vast majority of the time, we're expecting a drop on the pound New Zealand. If I can take an ADR out of it, I'm more than happy. Remember, my goal is to put money in this every day, yeah, and grow it by a percentage that makes me happy. Yeah, 0.5% to 1% a day is fantastic. If you get too greedy, you'll end up suddenly getting chopped around and then getting cross, because you're expecting it to get to your targets and you don't. So keep your targets realistic. Don't try and aim for massive movements all the time. OddCAD should be TPing on this shortly. So we've got 40, ADR is 60, isn't it? So around about 50. Very, very close. TP on that. 125 Aussie US. It's new as damn it for me. Not too keen on this hammer that's going in. Shooting star at the top here. US dollar yen. Hit ADR. I'm going to close this one out manually. So basically I've got Aussie dollar CAD. I've got nearly 0.5%. 0.5% I'm okay with. But we are at ADR and we're just tapping into some potential selling pressure up there. So I'm just going to close this one out manually. So I'm out of Aussie CAD. $3.15. Gonna leave Euro New Zealand running. That thing's just got to come down. So we are starting pullbacks on everything now. S&P's all pulling back. So we've got 10 minutes now, and 8 minutes until news, until crude. I got half an ADR till that potential support, although this is really what I'd class as support here more than that wick, but good chance we're going to get down there today, I think, the way this euro is coming down. Looking at the Swissy, Aussie dollar is still holding up. CAD is coming down hard. Euro coming down hard, as we know. Pounds coming down hard. So this is definitely Swiss franc strength coming through. New Zealand dollar, we know, is incredibly strong today, as you can see. So when you see the New Zealand dollar Swiss coming down, that shows you it's Swiss franc strength. Tweezer tops at yesterday's high, quadruple top. Look at that. And tweezer tops. Yeah, big rejection. Does not want to get through that level. New Zealand dollar Swiss short. Massive bearish engulfing. You're not going to get a reversal alert on this one very easily, because it's been a very, very strong push before this high was made. Looks like a lovely rejection on that though. Pound odd, ADR. Australian dollar pushing really hard still. So you can see that the New Zealand dollar is the stronger of the two. So the Aussie and the New Zealand are both being manipulated at the minute. Obviously you can tell that because the Aussie is coming down, the New Zealand dollar is the one that's winning out, but obviously against everything else. Doing well. Pound's not having a good day, is it? Right, S&P. Sorry, shut that. S&P over here. Pull back inside. M15 open. We are hovering at the top. Still looks like a long today to me. I've got some nice wicks to the downside, obviously, showing bullish buying pressure. Letting Euro Swiss run. Yeah. Yeah, I'd let that run. It's the Euro. When the Euro wants to come down, the Euro comes down. And that's, look at that. I mean, this is, as I said this morning, I haven't seen a move like this on the Euro for a long time. We climb up the stairs, and it's climbed up significantly quickly, but we do fall down the elevator shaft. Yeah, that's a big old drop. Not letting that go. Got some decent lot sizing on that as well. I'm always tempted to take the EA off and just let that run for a couple of days, maybe a week. I just got a feeling that thing is going to scream down. But we're going to get chopped there. And again, this is the other thing about Renko. I keep going on about Renko. Just got really obsessed with it over Christmas. But you know, when you get this here, so let's say you bought here, and there, right, you saw this bearish candle going. It's an inside bar, so it's not bearish. It's just a bit of selling pressure. You held it and got up to here, yeah, and then you saw this shooting star go in, right? As a buyer, that would scare the life out of you, because that is a massively bearish candle, followed by doji after doji after doji, which are all reversal candles, yeah, or continuation candles. They can be. They're pause candles basically, so they're not bullish or bearish, but typically at the top of a run, we see some kind of doji put in, don't we? So there, you would have gone, nah, taking it, and you'd have got out there and you thought that was an amazing trade. On a Renko chart, it would have gone, right? You would never ever have seen anything bearish whatsoever. It would be 5 candles straight to the upside, done. You wouldn't be out. You wouldn't even be out yet. What would happen is you would be out when it gets down to here, which, if you look at it, is roughly the same place as there, but that is now a 1 bar, potentially a 1 bar pullback. So that's the other thing I like about Renko. So there might be an advantage in using Renko charts for your exits as an exit strategy. So you get into your trades and you monitor them on Renko. Another option, just throwing things out there. Got to explore these things. That looks really nice. 1 minute to news. I'm going to bring the US dollar CAD up. Actually, I'm going to bring up pound CAD, because pound is US coming down. Yeah, pound CAD, because pound is neutral at the minute. So we'll see what impact the CAD has on the news. We'll keep an eye on the NAS as well. So news is out. Actually, I'm in CAD Swiss. I'm going to have a look at that. I know at break even on it as well. Doesn't seem to be having an awful lot of impact whatsoever. I'm not sure they've been released yet. Yeah, it's positive. So positive oil, which is good for oil producing countries. Well, it's neutral actually. It's not really that good. Might see a push, but doesn't look like the market's interested. So I let that one run as well. It's against the Swissy, so you know, if the Swissy is powering up at the minute, which it looks like it is, nothing's going to beat the Swissy. The Swissy will just dominate. So letting that run. Okay, so news is now out. We are clear of news now. Brainard has spoken, or Brainard's disappeared from the calendar actually. So maybe he didn't speak. He's just been erased from existence. And crude is out, so we should see the market start to kick in now and get some movement. Looks like it's wanting to push down. So see if this is a pullback. We're looking for those to hold. We've got no gaps put in on either of these at the moment, so the price action has obviously been very orderly, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. There's been no propulsion moves in either direction as yet, so this is the first move we've got going in to the downside. Obviously this isn't necessarily going to be a down move. We need to see what happens at these lows. Look for bullish price action if we're going to get a continuation day, or if we're going to get a bearish day, look for a gap to form and then a pull back into it and drop. We're going to get the reversal alert on both by the looks of things if this candle pushes for the next 3 minutes, which will be indicative of a move down today. We'll see. Isn't trading boring? We ought to have a little game we can play in the live room while we're waiting for paint to dry. I spy. Still no movement. Strong movement to the downside anyway. So we are going to get a reversal alert by the looks of things here, but it's not a particularly convincing push yet. So give it another 5 or 10 minutes and see what unfolds in the next couple of candles. Euro Swiss is collapsing. Break even on Euro Swiss now. God, I've got 6 on that, blimey. So those 0.2s are me. That 0.3 is me. That 0.2 is me. So that's me. Oh no, that might be that one. Yeah, that's the EA. So I'll pop that down there somewhere. Okay, so the EA is going to get me out of these. So drag these TPs down out of the way. Let the EA get me out of the positions that it's entered. And these ones with comments mean reversion. These are the ones that the EA's taken. The manual ones are the ones that don't have a comment. Those are mine. And mine are the ones in drawdown at the moment. Apart from that one. That one's in profit. Actually, that's that position there, isn't it? So I'm going to take that one off, which is mine there. That's that one. And that 0.2. Leave the rest on. So I get S&P again. Okay, so we got a reversal alert on the S&P. NAS we didn't. We're supportive. 125 ADR on pound New Zealand. I'm not going to look at it. So yeah, nice. We are in this choppy area at the minute, which is going to be potentially supportive. But this is all a kind of rotation here. So this push up we got at the end of London, we went into rotation into New York. and we're just rotating back into it at the moment. So until we break down below this level, difficult really to see if there's any directional bias. So there's no real trading opportunities at the moment. But obviously, if you want to enter any positions, I'd be looking to buy at the minute. But really not enough price action at the moment today to make any educated decisions or anything, is there? Just up and down. So potential support, resistance, same thing here. We've got potential resistance on the S&P as well. Could get forced back down today for another leg up, but we'll see. Where do I think Euro Swiss? I'm letting Euro Swiss out. Your heart is pumping. Where do I think it's headed? Initially, either here or here. So 4,400. There's nothing to stop it, basically. With support and resistance, when you make a break of market structure, price will move to sorry, just make this 1044. Price will move to the next level of support, and the next level of support is up to you. Yeah, we don't know what the next level of support is. The guys moving the market with the liquidity know where the next level of support is, because the next level of support is where they're going to take their profits, where they're going to exit their positions and start hitting the buy button. We don't know, but 90% sure it's going to be either there or there. So they will either use a wick support, because this is where the buyers ran out and the sellers stepped in. So we know there's a lot of transactions taking place there. Or it's going to be where we got to and stalled. One of those. Unlikely it's going to turn before that. But the other options you have as well are big propulsion candles, where buyers have stepped into the market, will possibly defend it. So this is obviously an area as well. So I'm going to take that 0.3 off. Might as well bank it, because this is a potential area that could be supportive. I don't know. But I'd rather have my money in my bank than it do that and me have to wait for it to do that. Stick it in the bank. I've got other positions on. But if we have broken this, look, it's not extended there. So we have actually broken that level. So I would suspect these two. Overall, though, this is the euro. And this is the Swiss franc. Look out below. I've got TP down there. Yeah, where's this going? I don't know. How far down does the hole go? But if you're in a situation where you're like panic, right? This looks exhausted, doesn't it? On 15, flick up. Right, look at it on a higher time frame. Look at it on the daily. What are we doing right now? What's my favorite chart pattern? 3-bar reversal. Yeah, what we're putting in right now, 3-bar reversal. What happens after a 3-bar reversal typically? Yeah, admittedly that was a crap one. It only lasted 3 days, but it worked, didn't it? So if this one only lasts 3 days, where do you think we're going to get to? Don't know, but hold it. Don't get out yet. We haven't even got the 3-bar reversal yet. This could be a 3-bar reversal down here. So, yeah, hold. Hold, as Braveheart would say. If you haven't watched Braveheart, that will mean absolutely nothing to you. If you're under 30, you won't even know what Braveheart is. NAS is broken down. M15. So we're tapping into this balance at the minute in this accumulation area. So we'll see if we can get a breakdown below there. Obviously, deep pullback levels are down here somewhere. So look for reversal alerts out of those areas. Yeah, nice big sell-off. So it looks like these sell zones are holding at the minute, but obviously it's battle of buyers and sellers. So when we get down to here, we'll see how strong these buyers are. Assuming we get down to there, we could be heading for a liquidity run. We could be heading for support bounce. Again, whenever you're looking at a chart and you're thinking like you just asked, where is this going? The three things I look for are liquidity runs or stop hunts, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, and they happen at lows. So we come down and we take it and we go. Or price moves to support. Or price moves to a previous area of propulsion in the opposite direction. Yeah, I don't know. No one knows. But one of those will happen. And you'll get a price reaction at one of those. Look at where my buys are. If we get there. I mean, if we don't get there, I don't care because it's going up and I'm going to make money. So either way, I don't care. I don't care what it does. As long as it goes up. I'm quite happy for it to come down. But as long as it goes back up again and we don't get some kind of ridiculous crash. As long as Elon Musk keeps quiet, we'll be okay. That's the way I look at it these days. And that is why I don't trade crypto. Oh, let's look at crypto while we're talking about crypto. So yesterday I called the bottom bounce, didn't I? I haven't looked at it today. So this is the first time I'm seeing it. Drum roll. It worked. So I called the bottom bounce yesterday here. And I said to buy crypto. It's going up. 2 days, admittedly, that's not a big... actually, it must have been the day before, actually. It must have been Monday, wasn't it? We were talking about it. Because I spotted it. Because I remember I said I logged into my PayPal account. And PayPal account have now got a crypto tab in there, which you can click on. You can see charts. And I happened to look at Bitcoin while I was in my PayPal account for no other reason than what the hell's this? Because I hadn't seen it before. And I saw a double bottom. So I thought, whoa, we'll have a look at that. There we go. And I guess Ethereum is doing the same thing. And that was the 200 bounce, wasn't it? Gap fill, 200 bounce Ethereum. But look at market structure. At the moment, we're off to the downside. Got to get a reversal alert. Got to break that level to become bullish. Did anybody buy crypto when I was talking about it on Monday? I was so close. You know, I was sitting in my PayPal account with my money in my PayPal account and the opportunity to convert it into crypto. That's why I clicked on that tab, because I was so tempted to go, oh, should I just dump this lot into Bitcoin? Because I had a fair amount of money in there and I thought, this goes up. But then again, if it goes down, obviously, you could lose a lot. So I don't know enough about it to trade it seriously. 15-minute low rejection on S&P and NAS again. Bullish engulfing going in on a S&P. NAS obviously is much more aggressive down move. Oh, that's 15 minutes, that's why. Three-bar reversal potentially going in there. So if we get a bullish engulfing here, this is potentially a nice little area. So we just tapped into the Asian midline. So there's the Asian high, Asian low, center point of Asia. So this is kind of the point of control of Asia. Just tap straight into it. See if we get any bullish price action here. K15 has just said in the Telegram group, Euro Swiss, shouldn't you be looking for shorts given the current market structure? I don't know if you're in here and you're chatting in Telegram, but if you are, yes. I am looking for shorts. I am short, massively short. And it's still going down. Chris, what is that 2 EMA indicator called that you're using? It's basically called moving average in color. If you go to the website, go on to the marketstructuretrader.com and go to other indicators and template. You can download a zip file. It's got them all in here. So this is called moving average filled and moving average in color, and it's a combination of those together which creates this. So I've got 2 moving averages on there. I've got 2 MA in colors and an MA ribbon filled. Yeah, so that draws in these 2 moving averages, and MA ribbon filled draws in the color. But there's a template in there. And if you download that zip file and unzip it, there's a template in there, so you can just literally apply the template. And that will suddenly magically make it look like this. So we didn't get the bullish engulfings, still bearish. So look for areas lower for buys. Right, I'm going to call it a day there. There's not, I think today basically we look like we are potentially either going to go and have a down day or we are pulling back for a bounce. So look for bounce points. If we get through the London lows today, chances are price action is going to just pull back. So I'm obviously already, I've got my couple of long positions already on, and obviously I'm ready to get into scaling to more positions to the downside. I use limit orders just because I know where we're going to get to most of the time. But obviously, if a lot of people are not comfortable with limit orders because they are like catching a falling knife a lot of the time. So lower time frame, market reversal alerts. So when we get further pushes back down to the downside, just take the reversal alerts to the longs. And scale into positions if you want to. That is if you agree with me on the S&P going up, obviously. It might collapse. But, yeah, I would look for scales. Scaling's lower down today if we can. I'm just waiting for a bit of funds, then I'll buy your market structure breakout indicator. It looks pretty legit. Cool. It's not much. It's only $49. It's not like some of these crazy indicator packages out there for stupid money. What time do I normally start, Corey? So basically, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon UK time for the for the New York session, and 8:30 in the morning for the London session. So it's 2 sessions a day. Again, it's on the website. If you go to the website, marketstructuretrader.com, and go to Live Room, it's all detailed there for you. What time? The Live Room is broadcast on the website as well. It's just obviously streamed onto the website. But if you want to know when I'm coming on, obviously just subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell, and obviously you'll just get an alert every time I'm going live, and usually give sort of 5 minutes notice before I go live, just to let everybody get in the room. Okay, S&P coming down very hard now, coming down to the bottom of this accumulation in London, which is also the high of yesterday. So this is yesterday's high. So we're just tapping into yesterday's high at the moment. So see if we get a bounce here. If we don't get a bounce here, look for a London bounce. If we don't get a London bounce, we'll be coming down into this accumulation area down here to try and push out of it, I guess. So Gary's just posted his P&L in the Telegram group. 5% this week so far. Good job, Gary. Good going. 1.3% banked today. Awesome. Really good. Do I go into depth on the reversal indicator? Again, yeah, on the there's videos all over the website. So you got this section here, which has got the position trading bootcamp. You can watch that anytime you like. It's five videos. I don't know how many hours it is. Anybody that sat through that will be able to tell me. Lots. There's loads of other videos on different strategies that I trade or have traded in the past that work really well. Information about the indicators, lots of other stuff, and indicator videos. So there's loads in here. But if you go to the actual page of the indicator that you're interested in this case, if you're looking at this one, all the indicators related to it are at the top. All the videos rather related to it at the top. So you can just go and see what the indicator does. Good ways to use it. There's loads. Just go explore the website. Lose a couple of hours. But yeah, it's all on there. Obviously, if you've got any questions, I'm here twice a day, so you can always ask in here. Right, okay, so that's it for today. I'm going to call it a day, as I say. So we are pulling down on the S&P, so I should be looking to scale in later on this afternoon if we continue to push down. If we are going to go into a rotational day today, all you're going to see happen is a push and a pull, a pull and a push rather, and we'll probably just come and reset. So we may well have a sideways New York session today, or they may settle somewhere within the London session and just accumulate orders ready for the next move up, next leg up. Fairly bullish candlesticks going at the moment. That Asian midline on the S&P is holding very nicely, so we might get a push out of here, but always keep in mind ADR. This is why I have the ADR indicator on my chart. Yeah, it gives you a really good perspective of where we've gone today compared to where we often go to. And as you can see at the moment, we are bang in the middle of not really going anywhere yet. So, stops you getting in too quick. You can see, actually, I don't really want to get in here, here, and here. I want to get in maybe here and wait until we get down to a big push. So, great indicators to use. Even if you don't use it for reversals, it shows you what the range of this thing is. And obviously, it adapts for every instrument you put it on. So, lovely tweezer bottoms gone in on S&P and NAS at the previous day's high on the NAS and the Asian midline. So may well hold up here. If you take along there, good luck. Sorry for the question. Do I need the EA if I only need the alerts as you trade manually? No, you don't buy the EA. The EA is only if you want to automate your trading. Yeah. So the EA is basically the EA is the market reversal alerts indicator. but it will take trades for you automatically based on the conditions that you set. Yeah, so if you want to trade manually, you just would use the indicator or the dash or the both, whichever we want to use. But the EA is only if you want to automate. I built the EA for position trading specifically, so that I can scale into positions on structure breaks on lower time frames. That's what the EA was built for, which is why all the settings you'll see in the EA are based on my position trading strategies. So all the EA settings are designed and built around ADR, RSI and moving averages. Yeah, so you can set it up as you want based on the conditions that you are looking for the EA to do. And obviously you can set your profit targets based on where you think it's going. So it's very, very versatile, but not designed as a whack it on all the charts, walk away and never look at it. It's designed to be placed on a chart when you are looking to take a position and trade accordingly. Yeah. But obviously people use it as they see fit. There's a lot of people using it on a set and forget basis and doing very well. As I am, I've got this running on H1M5 strategy. Banked 168, banked 0.69% today, 9% of drawdown, banked 18% so far. This is 100% automated. I haven't touched this since I launched it, and it's making a nice little profit. And this is the H1M15 mean reversion set file, which you can find on the blog if you want it. But that's a very slow burner. Don't expect to get rich on that. So what I need will be the dashboard. Yeah, if you want to use a dashboard, that's fine. So the dashboard basically will just give you all the reversal alert. It'll alert you to reversal alerts. That's all it does. The dashboard literally just alerts you to reversal alerts. That might be an old version of the dash. I don't really use the dash anymore, personally. Oh yeah, it's fine. So all this will do is basically, obviously you put this on a blank chart normally. Did I not pick a blank chart? I didn't pick absolute blank, did I? So for dashboards, yeah, all you do is you just get rid of everything on the chart. This is what the dashboard is designed to do, yeah? So it just literally gives you bearish reversal alert on CAD yen. Yeah, it's CAD yen and on each time frame, and it gives you the retest alerts as well. Yeah. So if you basically want to just get an alert, never look at this. This sits in the background. Yeah, you never look at the chart, the dashboard. You're not designed to look at this. This will wipe these out every 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, these will disappear. Every 30 minutes, these will all disappear. So you never look at it. All it's there for is literally to pop up and go, CAD yen has just had a reversal alert on the hourly chart. So you go to CAD yen and go, we just had a reversal alert on the hourly. Do I want to take this trade? RSI is extended or was extended when the reversal hit. Does it look like a good level? Not too bad. Let's do a bit of analysis on it. Pop up to H4. Is this a good level? It's in an uptrend. Do I want to take that alert? Doesn't look like the best trade in the world to me at the moment, so I'll probably skip that one. Yeah, that's what the dash is designed to do. Yeah, literally just ping you alerts so you can look at your charts. It's a reason to go and look at your charts. When is the dashboard for MT5 out? It's been out for a year? Ages. Long time. Assuming you talk about the market reversal alerts dashboard. The buttons vanish. Oh no, there it is. Get the get the dash for MT5. There, market reversal alerts dashboard MT5. Again, video in there explaining how it works. You haven't needed to intervene on those H1M5 trades. No, haven't touched them. This is running as a signal as well on MQL5, so you can go and look at it all. But yeah, I mean, you see in the history, I haven't touched it. It's 100% EA trades since I did the deposit. Made $4,000, 18%. Yeah, I haven't touched this. This is just the EA, and it's running on these 11 pairs. These are the my top pairs. But yeah, it's in drawdown. It's gone up to what's it gone up to? Let's have a look. So it's gone up to where's the drawdown? 11.9 maximal drawdown. So it's not too bad, 11.9%. Considering I'm running it on so many pairs, I'm not taking COT into account. It's just doing its thing, basically, on 75 RSI extensions. So, yeah, it's doing all right. But it's, as I say, it's a slow burner. Unless you've got a really big account, you're not going to live off this. This is making somewhere around about 5% a month. But, 5% a month is not to be sniffed at, considering I haven't actually done anything on a 20k account. 1,500 quid a month. Happy with that. Right, I've got to shoot off, so I will call it a day there. Anything you need, come in the Telegram group. I'll be happy to answer questions in there anytime. I'm always around. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 8:30. But this afternoon, obviously, I will just be monitoring the positions that I've got on at the moment. See where we get with all of this lot. But entering pullbacks, if we do get deep enough on the S&P and the NAS, the rest of the stuff is obviously just playing out. And then obviously when I've got these closed out, I'll be looking for more positions to get into. But at the moment, everything that is here, I'm in. So I'll be looking to reset some positions towards the end of the week. All right. So anything else you need, let me know in Telegram group. Otherwise, have a good afternoon, everybody. And hopefully it's a profitable one. And I will see you tomorrow morning, 8:30.